Hello, everyone. Here I am. If you saw my stories before now, I was saying that I was going to go live about talking about trust being a foundation. And this is more I'm talking today in leadership roles, but I'm also talking, it's a pretty blanket. If you're a mom, a business owner, a dad, you have a partner, your wife, your husband, trust is really the foundation for any relationship out there. And talking about it more about business and your brand, trust is the most important business and brand asset you manage, especially in relationships with your customers, your clients, your employees, people that have invested in you. Trust is huge. It really, really is. So, you know, and good leaders, and I have some awesome leaders in my energy that I really, really love. And, they know how to build that trust. And lasting relationships isn't a great exchange in life. And it does work both ways, right? It does work both ways. But, today we're talking a little bit about leadership. Now, here's some of the key things I've learned that may encourage you as a leader. A pint of leadership equals a gallon of advice. So, I have a saying by leading by example. Never ask your people to do something that you wouldn't do or that you haven't done, right? And especially when you're building a business and a brand and you're bringing people on and in, right? And for the record, any leadership that I've experienced has been nothing but positive. The people that I consider leaders in my life and that I aspire to become and be. And this one I really like is every interaction that you create, it goes into the account of trustworthiness. So it's either a deposit or a withdrawal, depending on if you're receiving or sending, right? So, and when we're talking withdrawals, right, a good leader will give more than they take. They always, always will. And, and I've seen this in leadership in sports teams, I guess I've been really fortunate. I've seen this in my businesses. It's trust is huge, right? In relationships, personal relationships. In the beginning, words hold more value than action. Yeah, let's go down this lane a little bit. So, in the beginning, when people are joining your team or you're in a new relationship or, just even with your kids, I find with moms, right? Even when you're in a new experience or dads, right? Sometimes often it starts with words. People trust you. They have no reason not to trust you. And your words hold a lot of value, right? And then what comes next is if you back that up with action, right? Inspired action. And then, in the world of business, people will trust your word. Most people will trust your word or other people's recommendations, and they'll hold trust in that because they really don't know you, but they have a good feeling, right? And you know me, feeling is the secret. So we're either making deposits or we're withdrawing, right? But after the words, after the importance of the words comes the action. People watch. I used to have a saying growing up that I heard all the time and I adapted to it, was action speaks louder than words. And it always does, right? And sometimes some people's actions don't match up with their words. So then, that's on the negative side of the fence. So, the challenge with trust is if you can't buy it, you can't force it. You can only, you can only believe, right? And you need to see evidence of that belief. Eventually, you will need to see evidence of that belief. And it's a choice. It's a choice. It's an individual choice whether you know, trust that person or that organization or that company or, your neighbor next door, right? It's a choice whether you're going to trust them or not until something happens, good or bad. That trust may build into unbelievable trust, right? Like just endless trust. And that the person that that you're following or the leader that you become, you have developed a very strong, trustworthy relationship with your clients or your customers or your team, right? And customers need to believe, they really need, or clients need to believe that your organization is trustworthy. Your brand, if you're building a business, your brand needs to earn that trust. It really, really does. Every interaction that you have, whether it's with a prospect or a client or an employee or someone in your organization, is an opportunity to build those relationships and build that trust. So your organization is good to have values, right? You're good to have core values and that your organization or your company lives by those values, right? It's just like personally, right? That you have integrity, that you have moral values and, be kind. And another good thing about a leader is that they will listen, right? Sometimes they'll talk less and listen more. And I can tell you from my years in business, and I can tell you what the number one thing is asking people. I'm always saying to people and clients, if you got any questions, just ask. If you've got anything to contribute, just share. I'm always, and, asking people to be accountable. Share your wins, right? It's building trust, it's uplifting, and it's allowing them to have a voice, right? Instead of always rewarding, I'm not a big person on rewards. I'm not going to say I don't like rewards, but recognition isn't high. It's not something that I need. I'd rather be asked my opinion, and not that my opinion is always right. I'd rather mastermind and discuss stuff. I don't always need to be told that that's really good. That's really good. And I have found when I was managing a law office that the more people I asked for their opinion, and I got a lot more respect, and I'd say, I'm thinking about this. This is a situation. And I would be building that trust, but I was being authentic. And that's another thing to building trust, being authentic and really meaning it when you're asking for their opinion and valuing it, right? Doesn't mean you have to go with it. Doesn't mean that's part of the decision, or maybe it will be. But I find people on your team, your clients, your customers, when you ask questions, I think you build trust more. It's like a pint of leadership, like I said a few minutes ago, opposed to a gallon of advice, right? Yeah, there I go, old measurements, right? But anyhow, so I hope that was helpful. This is coming up in my world a little bit, and in a good way. Everything's positive and good. But there's some lessons in it. It's made me think, and I've been meditating on some changes going on, and it's all positive and good things coming into my energy and my vibration. But trust is, it's number one. It's number one in any relationship. And, and that involves integrity, good morals, and being authentic and being kind, showing love. If there was more of this in the world would be a different place. So just remember, and if you're in a situation where you don't trust, on the flip side, I don't like to get negative, but if you don't trust and you're not feeling someone being authentic, and, that checking off all those boxes, then maybe you should ask yourself, first of all, as I would coach, is it coming from inside you? Is it your perception? Or is it really the universe sending you a sign going, maybe you need to rethink the situation you're in? So, for the record, I'm loving everything about my life, and the choices I've made and the decisions I've made, even in the first quarter of 2022. And really glad that I stuck out and I followed my intuition and held my belief that everything was going to turn out as well as it has. So I trusted. I trusted. The number one thing I trusted in was the leadership I had. Number two, I trusted in my gut, my intuition, my intuitive hits. So everyone have a fabulous Tuesday, and I'll be back again. Mwah.